Hi, welcome to Facial Recognition Comedy Podcast. I'm Anna.
And I'm Shereen, and we're
your new hosts.
Yay! Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Comedy Podcast.
For taking over.
Yeah,
I'm Pallavi.
Hey, Pallavi.
Hi.
And I'm Fizza.
Oh my God, hi.
Oh my God, I feel like we used to do a podcast like this at one point.
I feel like
last
I don't
week.
know.
Last
Maybe.
week?
I guess so.
Yeah, we did.
But it looks good on you guys.
Yeah.
It really
Thank
does.
you so much.
Thank you.
Like,
Thank
you have
we are
another-
not the same
We're all the same person.
We're not. I nail it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We are not. Wait. 1, 2.
We are not the same person.
I believe
except for
you.
Shereen and I are.
And you have I guess now we could take over the Ethnically Ambiguous podcast
Yeah.
then?
Mhm.
Okay,
Let's see
great.
if anyone
Part of the deal.
notices.
That wasn't part
That
of the
wasn't part of it.
That wasn't part of the
Okay.
Oh, okay.
What have I
Actually, no,
done?
but you guys have fit right in, honestly. I think we're all.
We both
we're
have
all-
done it, so
Yeah.
it was
You guys have been primed.
That would be, it'd be funny. It was just ethnically ambiguous facial recognition, facially ambiguous.
Facially ambiguous.
Ethnically facial.
Ethnically.
face.
Listeners, send us your ideas.
Yeah.
We might do like a crossover super podcast.
Yeah.
The whole podcast will be us just picking a name,
Yeah.
I think.
Just riffing and making sure we say it at the same exact time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
The
I'm-
enthusiasm was amazing.
We
try.
It was so great.
So we also have a dog in the studio. I should
Yeah.
add.
Ace.
Do you want to introduce
Ace
us?
Biscuits is here. He's just going to be sniffing around.
Hi,
If
Ace
he's bugging you at
Biscuits.
any point, just
No,
push his
we
head
love
away
him.
because he's only 10 months old and
Whoa, puppy.
he's simple.
He's 10 months.
Yeah.
He's a
Oh my God, he's a
fluffy
true
little
puppy.
cutie.
Do you do
Yeah.
the little chalkboard things that parents do with their kids where they're like
No.
10 months old, loves to
No,
roll
every-
over?
That was
every
a
month-
whiteboard. That was-
Every month I have to recount from the day he was born to remember how old he is.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, wait, what? How old is he again?
It's a dog.
Yeah. He got neutered last week on 9/11.
Oh,
Never
that's the
forget.
biggest tragedy for him.
He lost his twin towers.
Oh.
It's really funny when he lays down, his little like nutsack's deflated. It's like really sad. It's
Oh,
like his
yeah.
whole
It
whole
stays?
They
manhood.
just take it out?
Yeah, they take the thing, but like leave
The
the.
skin.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, what are they gonna remove the skin? It's
I don't
weird.
know.
remember
What's the
seeing
point of the
my
skin?
dog with a sack.
Well,
Maybe,
yeah,
I don't know.
because usually
I thought they
there's
usually
nothing.
they
Do
trim
you guys
it.
want to see it?
Yeah?
No.
I feel like
Hey,
Yeah.
show them your nuts.
oh
Are
man.
YouTube?
He's gonna block
viewers
the
can-
door now.
All right. Well, yeah. Let's give him.
We'll give him some
I don't want to take
privacy.
away his dignity. You know.
He has no
We
idea
did-
what,
they
who
did
or
that.
where he
They
is.
did that already.
I always tell people his full name because I love his full name. Can I say his full
Yeah,
name?
of course.
Detective Ace Biscuits, attorney at law.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so cute.
Ace.
I do always feel like when I was walking my dog, yeah, that's my dog on my phone. When
That's
I
a big
was
smile.
walking my dog, he like would sniff around, and I feel like every time I didn't walk him, I was like impeding his private detective career.
Yeah.
He was just like sniffing out some
All
crime.
dogs are low-key detectives.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
He's always sniffing around. He's
No
always
deal,
got
guys.
something.
And you take them to a new place, and they're just like.
Like,
Yeah.
like today.
Yeah, he's like,
every
and who
corner."
has been here over the years?
Yeah.
I will find every smell and I will put it in my brain.
I think that's why they have to be simple. They know too much. If they were
Yeah.
like able to process
They
the
know
context of
too
it,
much.
it'd
would
be
be-
too much of a burden on their poor little
He
doggy
would just be
lives.
on the ground like,
They'd
I
be
know
like-
too much. I know too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like if we do acid, we're processing too much.
Yeah, we're
Oh,
so
built
for this.
overstimulated.
But not in a
Fire.
bad way.
Ambulance.
We're just
Not
super
discouraging acid. Oh
overstimulated.
well, it's illegal, so not encouraging it either. Dude
No
feels
comment.
like-
illegal?
Again,
She works.
No, that makes
You're
sense.
you're a government.
part of my research funding is government funded. No comment.
She has a. Yeah. That's
Remember?
her legal protection.
But technically, the government used to make people take acid to test them.
Yeah.
No comment.
She all doused us with acid.
I'm like, and then I leave.
Didn't someone
That
in the
describes-
comedy scene do that?
Oh, they put something in a cake.
Who?
That
Where?
was crazy.
They put something in a birthday cake
Why
and
would
didn't
that
tell
happen?
anybody.
Yeah, and just
Is that
like a
that's
shitload
the
of comics
plot of
ate it.
Climax.
What?
That's the plot of the movie Climax.
Can I guess who it was? Was it Sarah June?
No.
Have you guys seen the movie Climax? The
No.
whole
No.
plot is that someone spikes the acid or the punch with acid.
Somebody spiked the acid with punch.
Yeah.
Who did this?
Not again.
Disgusting.
Fucking diluted.
It's like the whole movie is just like everyone tripping the fuck out,
Yeah.
and it's whatever. It's watchable, kind of. Not really. Don't watch it.
It's watchable, kind of.
Have you guys done acid? Not Pallavi. Pallavi's never done.
No comment.
Yes.
Wait, real quick before we do that, can we introduce them, like what they context
yeah.
for who they are and
Oh,
what they
yeah.
do?
Not everyone knows.
Because
that
you
we
know you have a
everyone knew.
podcast.
We have a podcast. I'm Shereen, and that is Anna.
I'm Anna.
And what else do you guys do?
Yeah, we co-host Ethnically Ambiguous on the iHeartRadio network. Anna works at the network, and I'm a freelance filmmaker and writer and director. Yeah, is that?
And I
sufficient?
PA'd for I
Yeah.
PA'd for Shereen one time.
Yeah, you did. That was one of the first times I saw you in person.
Yeah,
The
we
second
were like
time we saw
emailing
you.
each other.
Well, yeah, no, because we did the podcast and then you saw her.
Yeah.
But we were emailing before that.
Yeah.
And I had
Yeah.
no idea. I
was
had
the
no
same.
idea. Like, I should have put it together. I'm just a dummy. But, like, the same exact
Like,
person
that's
last
so
name.
funny. It's such a common name.
Yeah.
In the entertainment business.
Yeah.
It's really hard to
Together.
get my handles, you guys.
There's like 15
Yeah.
Pallavi Gunalans. Wait, sorry, say how do you say the Gunna?
Gunnalan.
Gunalan.
Pallavi Ganalan.
I'll never get the emphasis on the right part of it.
How do you say your last name?
Hossnieh.
Hossnieh.
Or if you're my father, Hossnieh! I'm just like, oh,
Well,
god
because
damn it.
I feel like Farsi, the enunciations are so sing-songy. So even when
Yeah.
I catch you trying to say something in an Arabic name,
I sing-song it.
I catch you doing it in Farsi, like a sing-song way to do it. Like,
You speak Farsi fluently?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I speak Arabic fluently, so
It's
fun.
interesting.
But
The
it's
Odd
funny
Couple.
Because people usually
We're always
get
trying to
us
speak to each other in
confused for real,
languages.
not because of what we look like, but because my name is Persian.
Yeah.
And Anna's Anna, and so when they listen to us and they see us, I'm introducing ourselves or whatever, and then they find out on Instagram that I'm Shereen and she's Anna, they're always like, I thought you guys were switched, and I'm just like, it's part of the deal.
You know, it's funny. Someone did that with Zara and I.
Oh, really?
Oh, I didn't even tell you, dude. Okay, so that that I'm not even gonna name the show because I don't want to embarrass people. But like, we had a facial recognition moment where some guy was like, because he saw me perform, and he's like, since the last time I saw you to now, I don't know what happened, but like. And then I was like, since the first time I saw you perform? I was like, when's the first time you saw me perform? He's like, 3 months ago, opening for Paul Rodriguez at Flappers. I'm like, that wasn't me. And he's like, yes, it was. You were talking about how you were more reserved. You were talking about living in New York and dating. I'm like, that's Zara.
my God.
That's Zara. And then he was just like, oh
that
God,
was
I
at
feel
one of your
racist.
shows? That was at one of the facial recognition shows.
No. I mean,
Oh.
we've
But
had
that has
crazy
happened
shit,
at
yeah.
shows.
Oh my God. That's
That
just-
happens like that, even with the flyer. I think like it hasn't cleared anything up.
No.
I don't
No.
think it's
It's more
accomplished that. It's just
I
fun.
think it's added to the confusion.
Yeah,
It's like we have more options.
There are more people to
Yeah,
confuse
there
us
are
with
more
now.
There was Philip Pallavi. Now there's like this, and this. Like it's
Yeah.
just
Wow.
it's Shereen and
Yeah.
Anna and
Yeah.
You guys don't do stand up though, right?
you used
I
to.
dabbled.
Yeah,
She
that's where I
Really-
first met her.
I really
fun.
love stand up, and honestly, me and Anna did like a Arab spring break comedy show
That's
last
funny.
year, and I did like a 10-minute like comedy set, and I love the art of stand up, and I would love to like get into it more. I just have been focusing on other things. But
Yeah. Wait, let's go back to the acid question.
Oh, yeah.
Because I deviated from that.
So no comment.
No
from
comment for
Pallavi.
me. Oh man, one day
I
I will
have.
make a comment.
Am I allowed to say that? Can this be used against me?
Again,
In what? In the
Literally,
acid court of
comedians
law?
are like,
Yeah.
oh, I fucking did acid and fucked an underage girl, and nothing happens to them.
I mean, yeah, but I don't want to be canceled
Jesus.
30 years from now when I
know.
fucking need
It's
it.
weird.
You know, like I don't know, acid
that
suddenly.
person should be canceled.
I know they should.
I
but-
did it, but I did it once, and I did it with MDMA, so I candy flipped.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Wait,
and
what,
Never
that's
done
candy
that.
flipping is doing it together?
yeah.
Oh, that's a cool
Um,
phrase. Candy flip.
Candy
Yeah.
flip.
And it was like, okay, so it was a very long experience. The trip lasted, this is crazy. I think it lasted 36 hours. And
That's a
What?
long ass
yeah.
trip.
Jesus.
And
Did
there's-
you eat at all during that time?
I don't remember.
Oh, God.
No, I probably not. Probably
yeah,
not.
you don't really eat.
Yeah, you get
Uh-uh.
really like.
Excuse me, I
caught
gotta go
up.
candy flip right
Yeah.
now.
I remember having conversations with people in my life, like they were there. I think I remember making out with like an ex. It was weird.
That's messy.
Shireen's face right now.
I've just been there. That sounds messy.
But there was no person there. I don't think it was like,
Oh,
I
what?
was just having these experiences.
Oh.
Then there was sort of a
Wait,
rave
what?
going on.
Oh, so
I
it
was
was like
wearing
you
scrubs.
in your room?
No, I was with I didn't even know I was going to do it. I was like at this one
You were
dude's
just
house.
in your bathroom the whole time.
Old friend, I know, right?
She was like teaching a math class the whole
That's
time.
the worst salvia trip.
Oh, salvia, that's a whole other
yeah.
story.
But, like,
That's
salvia is,
that
like,
I
that-
can't even.
Like the drug where you're just like lying there and like the world passes you by, then you wake up and you're like
Complete
I'm
detachment
dead.
you
from
guys,
reality.
have you guys
Yeah.
seen Euphoria?
Yeah.
I just watched it, and first of all, shout out to Nika King. Like,
Yeah.
she's a comedian. She's so funny, but her acting as the mom,
It's
I was like, you're
amazing.
so good. It was so
Yeah.
good.
That's
I'm
a
gonna.
pro.
That's
She's amazing.
Zendaya's mom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she's a comedian?
Yeah, she's a
Yeah,
comedian.
and everybody like when she got it, everybody
Oh.
was like, "Congrats!" But then I hadn't seen it, and I just started watching it like a week ago.
Oh, you just started watching it?
Well, I
love
finished
that
this
show.
season, but I did it like really quick. But
Yeah.
like I was like, "Fuck!" Like she is
Yeah.
a really great actress.
She's amazing.
Like props.
Yeah, considering you have to like be freaked out the whole time that your daughter's on drugs.
But she played it well, like being
Yeah.
tired and freaked
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
But,
I like
but
Euphoria,
do you-
but like I feel like there's like a low-key addict in me that like the first episode I was like I gotta try Valium, and then by the third episode
Oh,
I was like I
no.
gotta try.
I got
fentanyl.
triggered. I got
Oh,
triggered.
really?
I started wanting. I was like,
Never
oh, I want to
tried
do
fentanyl.
that.
But, like every episode I was like, okay, that's the drug I need to get, and then that's but like
Do you know what I was thinking? The whole time I was like, oh, it'd be great to nap all day.
Yeah.
I was just watching her like in her depressive states, like in
Uh-huh.
bed, just watching reality TV, and I was like, that sounds amazing. That would fuck up my life.
But
Yeah.
but I'm sure you can relate just to the. I mean, like getting triggered, I guess is like the word.
Yeah, I
but-
saw it and I was like, I kind of want to do that.
Yeah,
And it was
same.
like, you see how devastating it is, and it's just like, it still sparks
Yeah.
something in me. I was
That's
like,
wild.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like, you
That's
know,
why she put out that that or that before it came out, she was like, if you can't handle it, don't watch it.
well, I wanted to tell my brother to watch it because I think it's such a great piece of art. But I was thinking the same thing, like, you know, is he too vulnerable of a space
Yeah.
to, or like, you know, I feel like I have to be careful with who I recommend that show to.
Yeah.
It is very intense.
It's very intense.
But I love it.
But
They
it's
do a
very
really
but-
good
beautifully
job.
do you
shot.
think,
I
like-
the best part? My favorite part is how it's shot. It's just
Yeah.
beautiful.
I love like it doesn't have any like specific rules
Mhm.
because like there are fantasy moments
Well,
and
like, I
like
think in either
music
the
moments.
first or second, maybe the first episode, there's like a scene where like she's like tripping or something, and she's like the room is rotating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that they actually built.
saw
a
the
room,
behind-the-scenes
yeah,
video,
They
yeah.
built a room to rotate, so everyone else was like strapped to the walls, and just Zendaya is the only one that's like walking through, and the room is
What
actually
else?
rotating.
Isn't
She's
that-
like a stunt.
That's like an
Person.
NSYNC music video.
Yeah.
From back in
and,
the day.
and Jamiroquai.
Actually, yeah.
Oh, I remember the Jamiroquai video.
Not as inventive
Dude,
as I thought.
can we talk about how good Zendaya is?
She's so
Oh,
Like,
good.
this
she's so-
Disney
She's a queen.
chick
yeah.
is amazing.
And
I
she's like
know.
she seems like such a dope person.
Yeah, she seems
Um,
down to earth.
She's never done drugs.
I know.
And what are like, you know, it's just so
but
it's just
I
be able to
also
touch-
But it's
do
also
feel like
something that
that's
she-
the
Yeah.
certain people who are in like who grow up in the Disney thing are trained to excessively deny
Yeah.
doing anything because
Yeah.
that's the way of what they know. But I don't
yeah,
know if
she
it's
probably
like
was
real.
around
But
it.
she also seems like someone who may not have, but at the same time, I know a few people who are like Disney people, and they excessively, if you bring it up, they go, you know, I've never tried that, and it's almost like, are you a
It's like a
robot? Why did you
scripted
say
thing.
No comment.
It's like scripted. But
Yeah.
I think she's amazing.
Yeah.
But I was
regardless.
gonna ask, do
incredible.
you guys? So you guys said you were triggered. You had like addict
Yeah.
vulnerability moment. Do you think it like depicts it in an interesting way, like the different types of drugs, or like?
it's sort of in the way of like, let's say you are a compulsive overeater and you see a commercial with really delicious food.
Yeah, but I mean like the way it portrays it, like the sing-songy
Is there some
way,
glamour
like
to it?
No, I mean, does it? Do you feel like it felt like that? Because you were saying like Salvio, you lay there, or whatever.
I think
Yeah.
it just like the only thing that made me that I didn't like about the show is that I knew that Zendaya's fans are mostly like younger people.
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of them would watch that show, and if I, a grown person, was fascinated by these things, I could
Yeah.
only assume that these young people would be too. And even though it did show the lows, the way she physically just, or like literally described them as being like the best feeling on earth, or like whatever, I think it showed too much of the goodness in the drug.
It's sort of like there was, and this is, I've been in therapy for years and years, tons of 12-step programs or whatever, and I still sort of, I still felt that pull because it was just like
You're like at 36 or 72 steps by now.
yeah, I know, right? It's just, that's why I was so careful with like people I knew who were vulnerable to it. Like,
So you think it was like it was too glamorous of a portrayal?
I don't want to say that because I thought it was perfect. I thought the show was
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
I thought it did a really good balance of like being like, yeah, the highs are very high and the lows are you are screaming outside someone's door begging them
That was
for
a great
drugs.
scene.
Like that's what it is. It's like the lows are
Yeah.
crazy.
Also, Fezco looking like Mac Miller.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
that's like triggering. Everybody's like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
That's like sad for him because that's the way he looks like. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
And what he sounds like too.
But also, we didn't even bring this up. The first time I did acid was with Anna.
Hey.
Yeah, I've done acid a couple of times. Shrooms are by far my favorite thing in the world. But acid, my first time was purposely very planned out with Anna, like 5 years ago.
Location?
Okay,
Venice,
so I had
right?
this obsession.
You have a location scout. You have
no,
a
I really did. I had this obsession. I wanted
Crafty.
to see the sunset on acid, and it was the 4th of July. And one of Anna's friends lived on the west side, so we all met up there, and we like drove to Venice at some point, and we had already taken it by that time.
I
But
know that was the most
like-
stressful drive of my life.
But I was like,
I was like, we don't have
feeling
time.
it.
We got to do this. We got to
Yeah,
park right
but
now.
I was like feeling it, and I like was fast walking to the beach, like just to see the sunset before it went away, and like it hadn't even started, but I was just like on that adrenaline or whatever. And I ended up seeing it. It was beautiful, and like I took out my phone. And I just remember like almost like teary-eyed crying. I always cry when I do any kind of hallucinogenic drug. And
I cry when I do mushrooms.
Yeah, every time.
A lot.
It's very.
I'm not even crying, but water just comes out of my eyes.
But I just remember taking photos and it being like, just put your phone away. It's not gonna look the same. And I'm like, it's so beautiful. Look at
Yeah,
the
it's like
sky.
this is you're not seeing what you're gonna see on
but,
your
like,
phone
the
later.
sky was like this,
That's
like
true. Like even when you're sober.
yeah, it was like this like hologram and everything. And then the next morning it was just like these awful blurry photos. It was hilarious.
That's so funny.
The, so my acid trip, I think, lasted. I was affected low key for 36 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
The candy flip.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
Wow.
Well, it's a lot of drugs in your system.
Yeah.
yeah. So it was. I mean, like we were watching. I think Iron Man 3, and I was like seeing like subtle, messages.
You're like,
and it was-
I've invented a new element.
Yeah.
Let me solve this problem.
The shit was wild, and like also, sometime in the middle of the trip, I took out my tampon, and I was wearing scrubs,
Oh,
by the way.
shit.
So like I had
That's
a
fascinating because I think the vagina to mind relationship when you're on hallucinogens is so interesting because you'll be like
Whoa.
putting a tampon in and you're like, I'm putting like a water bottle inside me. It feels like you're like being like, whoa. Then you're like,
You guys need to check out this
Whoa.
YouTube video for this podcast
Yeah.
episode with
yeah.
Anna's act out.
No, I just, it's a very interesting relationship because one, you constantly think you may have just peed yourself because you're like,
Yeah.
I don't know really what's going
That's
on down
salvia.
there.
I thought I pissed all over
Yeah.
my couch. I was convinced I just was peeing all over my couch. It was
And it was
terrifying. And I was like very OCD at the time. So it was just like, yeah, it was. Salvia is a whole other story.
Oh yeah, that's a different.
But
kind
like,
of
yeah, I pulled my tampon out. No one told me that I had my entire leg was soaked with blood.
Oh my God.
And we were all just hanging out for hours, and no one said
Did
anything.
you pull your tampon out like in a bathroom or just like?
In the bathroom,
Oh, okay,
probably.
sorry,
I think I went to the bathroom.
know,
I
just
pulled it out.
imagine.
I mean, I don't know.
And it got blood on you.
Well, yeah, because I was on my
Maybe
period.
that it was just part of the scrubs.
Yeah.
They're like, she's been in surgery for.
That's a
It
cool
was
pattern. Yeah. it's a
like
cool pattern.
bleeding because I washed them. I couldn't get the blood stain out.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was like, and then I walked to Starbucks at one point, and the person I was walking to Starbucks didn't say anything, and I was like, why didn't you say anything? He's like, I thought you didn't give a fuck. I was like, I didn't know.
Oh yeah.
That's not fair to everyone looking
Yeah,
at me.
it is
Like,
cool
Yeah.
that they
Free
thought
bleeding.
you're like that cool of a
Yeah.
person to be
Yeah.
like, she doesn't give a fuck. There's blood right down her leg.
That's
right
a
now.
thing. People do that. They free bleed.
Yeah.
Do they really?
Yeah.
They do,
And you have clothes and stuff for that?
Yeah, there was somebody ran a marathon and was like free bleeding in it, and then like somebody Joanne Schinderly, who's a comic, she like her album cover is like a free bleed picture.
Oh, dope.
She's very like pro like women just being themselves, and so it was funny.
Yeah, I mean, I just like, I didn't know, and it was a lot.
Yeah.
And it was like, I was sitting on their couch and
When did
shit.
you?
I was,
Oh shit! When
walking
did you
around.
find out?
like, towards the tail end.
And then
I-
you were like, "Fuck!"
Towards the
Well, I
tail
was
end,
just
you
like-
found out your tail end was.
I needed to
blood.
borrow
Hey.
a towel to dry. Yeah.
I don't do comedy anymore.
That's every conversation. I don't do comedy anymore. Don't pull me
worry
back.
about it, Don't worry about
Don't try to pull me back in.
You're feeling too good. You don't want to. But yeah, no one, like, I needed to borrow a towel to get home. Because,
Yeah.
like, it was it was there's so much blood.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah. And then before I started bleeding on myself, one girl was super triggered. She was a younger girl.
Oh my
And
God.
she, I think, spent a lot of time in the hospital, and I was wearing scrubs.
Oh,
Because I didn't
shit.
even know I was candy flipping that night. I thought I was just hanging out with some friends, and
Yeah.
they said like there's some reference for doing acid, like a Nintendo reference. Do you know what it is? I wasn't aware of it.
BA star or something.
I don't know. So I thought I was coming to hang
Hack
out,
code.
and then they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna do acid." I'm like, "Oh, well, that's a time commitment. Let me
Why were you
You're
wearing
like-
scrubs? Can I ask that?
just to
She
be
just
like,
had them.
yeah, I'm like obsessed with comfort. It's
Oh.
like a priority, and I just wanted to
I
wear
have
scrubs.
I have scrubs,
I
but my
mean-
sister's a doctor, so I have kind of an excuse to why I have scrubs. But I would never think to buy them on my own.
No, someone gave them to me.
Oh,
It was like an actor. She's like,
She's-
"You'll leave him for an audition."
Oh, that's so funny because you have like
Yeah.
3 members of your family are doctors. So I assumed,
Yeah.
or 4?
Four
4. So
out
I
of five.
assumed,
I'm 5.
I assumed,
Yeah.
I assumed it was from your family, but you're like, nope, it's an actor playing a doctor. That's how in entertainment you are.
She's Asian. So
Yeah.
she gave me a bunch of clothes at the
Yeah.
time.
What-
I will say doing acid on the 4th of July was a good idea because everyone is fucked up on some type of, like, everyone was drunk on the beach. You remember? Like,
Yeah,
I
no
feel
one's
like
really
no
paying
one
attention to you.
noticed. And like at one point I like took off my tights and like I was like I don't know. Just,
Yeah, I was
You
just
really-
creating a blockage so you could
Yeah.
like take your tights off.
Yeah. So
You
I
really
think
gotta-
doing hard drug or whatever like that on a day that everyone's going to be messed up is a good idea. It's good planning. You know.
And with like people you don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like good friends.
yeah.
I like psychedelics. I think if someone's prepared for it, it's something people should experience if they feel comfortable.
I think
I'm ready.
shrooms should be
Yeah.
a requirement in like a human curriculum. Like
I
I think
agree,
every
actually.
shroom trip I have opens my mind in a different way, and
Broadens
I
your
just-
perspective.
I just think it's just required human like experience. I don't know.
Those are still highly illegal, even though they grow out at, like, in
I think
nature
they're
and stuff, right?
decriminalized, but
I mean, there's
yeah,
a lot
I
of
don't
stuff in
think-
nature that's illegal,
Yeah.
right?
Should.
Just because it's natural doesn't mean
Yeah.
it's good. But I think the only thing to keep in mind is like people who are like prone to like mental breaks and like schizophrenics, so they got to be more careful with
Oh,
that
for
stuff.
sure. No, yeah,
But
it's not
yeah.
like a blanket state. I don't want it to be
Yeah,
confusing.
yeah, yeah.
That's, I think, an important part of being ready for it, because you
Mhm.
might be exposed to a perspective you're not ready to experience.
Right.
Like, it
Or if
could.
something bad's just happened in your life, it might not be a good
Mhm.
time.
I mean,
I think
I
the
don't know.
circumstance and where you are is really
Who
important.
you're
like,
with, yeah.
Like nature
Yeah.
is a big thing, and making sure you're with people you trust and
with
you're
psychedelics,
secure.
you want to be around people you trust, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Someone in college, I think, did mushrooms and walked off the 12th story floor. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you hear those stories a lot.
Yeah.
And that's
But
terrifying.
that's,
Yeah.
that's what's like. That's
Yeah.
why the environment is
Stay
important when you do
on the
them.
ground.
Yes.
First
Mhm.
floor only. No access to elevator.
And if
Touch
you're gonna
the
jump,
earth.
make sure there's a body of water so you can jump into some water. That's
Plan-
always fun.
Plan your trip, and that's
Mhm.
actually not bad advice.
Mhm.
Plan your trip, like you
Responsibly
would.
irresponsible.
It's an inner journey.
Yeah.
I recommend
Yeah.
Sedona.
Yeah. So
A
I haven't
lot
been to
of-
Sedona. I want to go to Sedona so bad.
A lot of energy there to be like,
There's vortexes. What's the
Yeah.
science behind the vortexes there?
Yeah. Tell us,
Do you know?
scientists.
I don't know.
Oh my god. Okay, so
what
maybe-
vortices?
there's energy vortexes
Yeah.
there. I felt like I was
a lot of
in a
people, like,
few of
very
them.
much like I don't know. I've been to Sedona with my family, but I don't know how.
it's like a spiritual
that's
mecca.
Yeah. It's
sort
like
of.
a spiritual.
It's really
mecca.
cool.
Oh,
Like
shit.
I did acid there this past 4th of July, and it was like there were points where I would just be standing and I would be zoned out for like 10 minutes. My friends would come back to me and be like, "Where have you been?" I'd be like, "Dude, I feel like I'm hitting energy vortexes here." Also, on top of being on acid, I'm feeling them very hard, and I could like go into these like mental states where I'd be just deeply examining things in my mind and being like, "So that's why I feel that way."
I've
And
never
then coming out and being like, "Oh yeah, I really, I had a bit of a breakthrough just
Yeah.
then." And they were like,
Just
"You were just
epiphanies
staring at a wall for
left
10
and right.
minutes."
I
And
didn't-
I'd be like, "Yeah, I know,
I didn't
but
realize this
something
was a
happened."
thing, but Googling it, it says
Yeah.
there's spiritual vortex. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or
It's
and-
very
yeah.
intense.
Sedona is like a very big hub of it.
But
Is-
There's
so
some. I
what-
think there's an actual like some sort of vortex based in science. I don't know. I haven't done
Yeah.
much research. I just heard it's a.
That sounds like a science thing
Magnetic
that you should do,
vortex?
probably.
Yeah,
and
so there's
get
Yeah,
some-
back to us.
maybe.
I'm
So
just
that's
kidding.
you know I know.
It also
This-
spiritual though, so I don't know.
Well, it's a spiritual place. For a lot of people, find it to be a spiritual place, but there is some science
It's also
behind it.
just
So I was
beautiful.
curious.
Like at face
Mhm.
value, it's just like a beautiful, overwhelmingly amazing place. And so I think that alone makes you feel this kind of elevated touch with nature. And then when you combine all the stories you hear about the energy vortexes and whatever, and then if you end up actually feeling those things, then all the stories accumulate, and I think that's how that kind of stuff starts, you know?
Yeah.
I
I
would love
liked
to
it.
go.
It's good vibes there.
Yeah.
No direct flight though, right? What are you flying
No,
to?
I
It's not
just
that-
I
it's not that
drove
much of a
from
drive.
LA to there, and it was like 8-hour drive.
Oh, it's not a
It's
bad
like
drive.
NorCal,
Yeah.
But I went to the Sequoias last month in August, and that experience was another example of like nature being so freaking beautiful. It's just like there's literally a giant forest in the park, and it's just these trees that are giant beings that have been there for thousands of years and will be there long after we're gone, and you just feel this awe, this constant awe with the earth, and then combined with shrooms, it's just like this. I don't know.
It's unreal.
It's unreal.
But it
pretty
is
cool.
real. That's the thing. It's more real.
Yeah.
It's actually what's real. I don't know. But
Deep,
like,
very deep.
thank you.
That was one of the things, like, I went with one friend who's very into, like, stylizing her Instagram, and I had to be like, girl, like, I know you're trying to pose right now, but you're high as fuck on acid, and this is just gonna look weird
I
in,
know,
like,
you
a
have
few
to be-
hours when you look at your pics.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
it's
your
not
social
worth
media
it.
away.
A lot
Put
of
your
my
phone
pictures
away.
of
Yeah.
Sequoias are just like my hand on a tree. So I'm just like, I feel this tree, and so I just have like my hand on like different kinds of bark, like so many of the same photo. And then like there was like 2 selfies I tried to take, but it's just like basically just most of my arm and just like me touching a tree. It's just I don't know,
Yeah,
it's funny.
I just think like it's a lot, and to be like telling a bunch of girls who are from LA to be like, I really wouldn't bother trying to pose out for your Instagram right
Yeah.
now, and then being like,
But this is like a perfect
Yeah.
place to take a photo.
and
And
you're
No,
like,
the
yeah,
next
but we're
week
like
is here.
tripping.
The
like,
next week they're
you're
at
like trying to be
Chernobyl.
like you're trying to like really like vibe, and it's like you look crazy, and you're like being like, no, can you take it again? It's like, no, fool, I am tripping. I don't want to keep taking photos of
Put a
you.
filter on your drugs.
Yeah.
That is an unfortunate
That's-
side effect of like the social media age. Like,
Yeah.
not only do you think that no one's gonna believe that you were there, but you have to look fine as fuck at all
Yeah.
times.
I hate
Yeah.
wearing makeup, but I always, every time I take a picture without it, I always feel like weird because everybody's always put makeup on.
Yeah.
Like it's just everybody's always done up.
Yeah.
So you
very
just
I
LA.
only really discovered makeup recently, and now I'm like, I just want to. It's more that I just want to draw on my face.
That's fun. I also look at it as like an art. I
Yeah.
think that's like the YouTube tutorial, like the makeup industry in the YouTuber method is like it's art. They like do crazy shit on their
Yeah.
faces.
Yeah.
If it's fun, then you should do it. But like back to Euphoria, like it made makeup look really fun. Like it made
Yeah.
me want
Yeah.
to get like cool colored eyeliners and
Yeah.
just like draw
Mhm.
not even on my eye, but like on my eyelid. Like it's just like random things. So I think like
That's fun.
it could be really a creative outlet. You know?
I just like I don't like the way skin stuff feels.
Right.
Yeah.
Stuff
yeah.
that covers skin. Like I mean, on camera you have to wear some makeup.
But it's what I
like-
need the most. Like it's,
I mean, that's what sort of
yeah.
the makeup that most people like when they need to wear makeup. That's what they're talking about. No
Yeah.
one needs eyeliner.
I think what's
Eyeliner
more important
dope,
than
but-
makeup
Mhm.
is skincare. I think good
That's where I
skincare-
focus. That's where my
good
focus is.
skincare is so much better than a good foundation. You know,
Yeah.
because then hopefully if you take care of your skin, and obviously hormones are a factor and like genetics and whatever, but the hope is that you don't have to wear foundation on a daily basis.
That's
because
where
you
I
have
put
good
my-
skincare.
That's
and
where
like
I
me
put
and Anna
my
talk
focus.
about SPF all the time, and like the
And that's the thing is us brown girls are talking about SPF, like wear sunscreen, and like a lot of people who have fair complexion are just like, it's fine.
They're tanning.
It's just
They're
fine.
getting leathery.
But you can. The thing is, you can tan and still have SPF. That's the thing. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
stop you from tanning.
yeah.
No. But I'm saying like they're purposefully like exposing themselves and getting like aged skin, right? Like remember in like high school, everybody was like always laying out, never putting on enough stuff, and
No.
then it just looked. Oh, I grew up in Utah. That shit.
No, I meant like no. I
Oh.
meant like yeah, I remember that, and like no, they're awful.
Yeah.
That's an awful idea.
They looked so dark. They were darker than me. I was
Do
like,
you
this
guys
is
have that
not
thing where
great.
people would put stickers on themselves so they would purposely get a tan in the shape
Yeah.
of a sticker?
Yeah.
I had a pair of sandals with like a flower hole in the top, so
Mhm.
like I could get like a flower
Yeah.
print on my foot.
And that's all just like growing up, but like me and Anna also talk
That's
about
a
this
cool
is that like our
shoe.
moms are obsessed with skincare. So I would
Yeah.
always watch my mom every night, her whole routine with her creams and making sure her face is clean, and just very like
How many steps
a
is your
whole
routine?
vanity. I don't really have that many steps. I
Yeah.
have like, I mean,
Do you have a routine?
6. I have a 6-step routine.
I don't-
I
never
I
really
try
count.
not to fall asleep in my work. And then I have like other things like.
Do you
but
sleep in your makeup? That's like the
I
biggest
did last
thing.
night because I fucking.
I always wash my face. That's one
I
step
never
never
sleep in
miss.
makeup.
Always wash my
I fell
face.
asleep for a couple hours, then I was like, fuck, and I like woke up and
Well, a
washed it off.
nap is fine, but like
But that's like my sleep.
if you like woke up and did shit after,
Yeah.
that's nuts.
But
Wow.
What do you guys usually talk about on this podcast? Is
As
this, like, going well?
everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Do you guys feel good?
Mm-hmm.
Are you
Good.
feeling
This is
good?
going well.
Yeah.
You feeling great?
We talk about whatever we feel like. Sometimes we
Yeah.
talk about current event shit. Oh, can I talk to you guys about this? This will be a good thing. Did you guys see Chelsea Handler's "Hello Privilege"? It's me, Chelsea.
Not yet.
No.
I watched it just now, and I didn't like it.
Is it special?
Yeah, it's like a documentary about her discovering like white privilege.
I'm honestly kind of over Chelsea
She
Handler.
keeps
I'm
doing
not-
that. She just did her book about that.
Yeah.
She has a podcast about it that I am a
Why did-
writer producer on,
Oh,
so I
shit.
can't comment too hard on it.
So this is your no
but-
comment moment.
This is my no comment, but yeah, no, it seems like this is her new obsession is realizing she has privilege, which is like,
But like,
okay.
I think it's just a way for her to seem relevant to people of color. Like, I think
Dude.
it's just like
So much of the documentary was her talking about her life. And there were two people that I liked that she interviewed, or like three that I liked that she interviewed and that I hadn't heard their stories before. But a lot of, like, she talked about, and she met up with a man she had dated when they were in high school that had, gotten her pregnant a couple times, and that was like a drug dealer. And she was like, in the documentary, was like, oh, so it's like because I was white that I got off and he kept getting arrested. And I'm like, how long have you, like, you wrote the book
Wow.
too. And then, like, she talked about how she, like, initially, before she met him, her parents, like, moved to an all-black neighborhood or something like that. And she was like, yeah, and it was great because, like, I was excited. I wanted to date black dudes and blah, blah, blah. And that was so casual.
Wow.
And I was like, you're supposed to be self-aware. And she was in a barbershop with a black dude and a white dude, and neither of them called her out on it. And I'm like, she just described
She's fake woke.
fetishization.
But
She's
do you
fake
think
woke.
there's some? Because I haven't seen it yet. But do you think it's not a bad step in general for a white person to be calling out their privilege?
I think it's good, but something about the whole thing just
The
bothered me. Like,
execution?
yeah, like I think the intent, like some things at the top, like there was a black student who was like, I'm embarrassed to be here, and like this is just another example of your privilege. So then in the car, and she's like, you can edit it out or whatever. And then in the car, she was like, okay, so like it seems like black people are tired of talking to us and trying to solve our problems. This is a white problem, blah blah blah. So there were moments where it was like she was aware, but then it just like. It's not going to reach the viewers she wants it to reach. Like, who is it for? It seems like it's so self-serving, and she
it's
like
for Chelsea fans.
she like yeah, but it's like I didn't feel like it did anything.
So it did seem self-serving. is
That's
what
it's
you're
very
saying.
self-serving.
I didn't like it. Just the whole time I was just like annoyed.
I heard someone else express a similar opinion. I haven't seen it, but
Oh, I'm so sorry.
you know what I did see though? Hustlers.
I'm gonna
wanna
see that tonight. I'm gonna see that
Oh,
tonight with
I
my
I might go
friends.
see that tonight
It,
too.
it
I'm
like
seeing it with my
reminded
friends.
me. It was great.
I have to see it.
I need
It was
to see
great.
ASAP.
Jennifer Lopez's body looks like it was CGI'd on because it's that perfect, better than ever.
I
She's
saw her walking
incredible.
in that dress
Yeah.
on Instagram or whatever. the
Throwback,
dress, like,
dude.
what the
She wore it
shit?
again.
It's unreal. Wait till you see the movie. It is unreal, and it's great. Great. Everyone is great in it. Great acting.
Yeah.
Very
gotta see
funny.
it.
I think
Cardi B.
Marcella retweeted that picture of her in the green dress, and she was just like, I don't want to look like this when I'm that old, when I'm 50.
Yeah, it's like,
it
seems
looks
stressful.
tiring. Yeah.
it's stressful.
And I was like, yeah.
it looks very
Yeah, but
That's
if
a
you're
lot
like-
of time.
Movie.
That's a lot of time for skincare.
I feel like if you're someone who's like grown up, like literally came to be an adult in this industry, like that, it's almost like second nature to be like, yes, I'm fit. I'm constantly looking
It's part
out
of
for my
your-
booty.
yeah.
Like I know what's up. I know how to stay fit, and I know what to eat to do this. And this is who I am.
And
And
she
it's
has the
because
means to.
yeah, exactly. Like this
Yeah.
is just what I've been. This is all I know. Like I feel like she couldn't just sit down for like a week and do nothing and just eat shit because she's not programmed that way.
it's part of her job.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's so fucking fit. I saw her performance at some award show like last year, and her like dance ability is like it
Yeah.
feels like it's not slowed down. It's insane.
And
She
that was
could
her bread and butter.
probably-
That's how she
To
started,
bring up
right?
Marcella again, though, another funny tweet was that, yeah, I would dance as good as J-Lo if I couldn't sing too, or something. Like making
That-
fun,
yeah.
making fun of that, like,
Damn.
shit, like, I don't know. But it
She's
was
not
funny. I don't know. Marcella's great. But, no, just describing it as CGI is so accurate because it doesn't look real.
I can't
But
even like how
I
she
can't
looked in the
comprehend
dress.
that she's 50.
No.
To me,
Wait
she's
till-
like 30.
You see her
still.
full ass, and it's just
Wow.
like, why is her skin so smooth everywhere?
Wow.
Do you think she's using Kim K's body foundation?
Oh God.
No.
Just it was.
She uses
I-
stuff that we're not allowed to know about.
yeah,
She uses
uses
illegal
It's dope
shit.
though, because you're like, oh,
Substances.
someone can. Because remember, like in like I don't know, hundreds of years ago, people wouldn't have their teeth by the time they're like 22, right, or something.
Whoa.
So it's
Really?
just now.
Well, everybody was
they
Yeah, but
dying
you
at,
also
like,
like
30.
died. Yeah, you were like long dead by 37 or
And
something.
J-Lo's, how old is she?
50.
Yeah, I think 50.
Woo!
Just 50.
I can't even emphasize just
I
how
mean,
banging her
I
body
just-
was.
I
It was
mean,
crazy.
Again, like she has the means to be fit, but she also has the means to get any kind of injection or help she would ever need. You
Wait,
know.
but also, I heard she was a good actor in the film too.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. Like everyone
Right?
was great. She
I always
was,
thought she was a great actress. I loved her
Yeah.
in Enough. Do you guys remember Enough, where
never
she
saw
was
it. Oh, I
like
didn't
in
see
an
that.
abusive relationship and like had to like get out? Like that was what I mean.
I
that was like
remember her when I was
90s, but,
younger,
people are
early
saying those
2000s.
Oscar-
rom-coms and stuff. They were
Yeah.
always fun to watch. I never
Oh
thought
yeah,
she was
Wedding
terrible.
Planner. I loved
Yeah.
Wedding Planner because she was like,
always fun.
People
Sassy.
were saying she it's as like Oscar worthy potentially.
all right, I'm gonna go see it tonight.
I want to see
You think
Hustlers really bad, but also Ad
I mean,
Astra.
I'd love for her to win an Oscar. I don't know. I
Ad
don't like
Astra.
award shows annoy me. I usually
Yeah.
just,
No, but I mean, do you think it's like Oscar worthy? Do you think that performance was?
Sure. I don't
No
I'd have to-
comment.
No, I mean, I don't know. I'd have to. I don't know.
Okay.
I'd love for her to win an Oscar for it though, because I think Oscars are sort of bullshit. But I joined the Academy when they'd have me. So, but
Yeah, Oscars are
I'm
kind
not-
of bullshit.
yeah, I think all awards.
feel
are
like
really
Well,
bad.
Oscars
Yeah,
like
I
old
agree
white
with you
people
100%.
voting, being
Yeah.
like, Jennifer Lopez, you say?
I think-
Award
Okay.
shows are
she's-
so hack. I don't know. I just
She's so, and it was just so. It was so sex positive, so feminism. Like just. I think
I
it was
heard
just
like a
such
mafia movie.
I have a question.
incredible.
How was Constance Wu in it? Because she
was
is
good.
not. There's something about her that
She
I
warmed
I
up
know
to
what
me.
it is about her, but
She warmed
What
up
is
to
it?
me.
What is it?
she's not nice. She's not a nice person.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just,
So I know she
like-
had that thing where she was ungrateful that they renewed.
the way she
fresh off the
handled
boat.
herself in that situation on social media was so telling of the kind of person she is. I think like no one is telling you to go comment on an Instagram post being like fuck this like.
Wait,
Wait,
what
she did
happened?
that?
Yeah, she commented on the post on their thing.
I
being
thought
like,
she
I'm
tweeted.
So upset this happened.
I thought
was-
she
was
tweeted it.
She
tweeting
tweeted?
and
Ew, really?
Instagram. She commented and she posted on Twitter how upset she was.
Why was
And
she
then-
upset?
Because it like prevented her from taking other.
Oh, that's
But
right.
it was like, but it's the show that really gave her all the opportunity she has now, and not that she has to be forever indebted to it, but like, don't even if you have those reservations,
It's like
saying them
unprofessional.
in that way
Yeah.
is so rude. And not only that, but I know like a good amount of crew members that work now on Fresh Off the Boat, and they told me just how uncomfortable she makes the set feel. Like they don't like being around her. She's just like not a nice person. And especially after she said that, when they went back to work, they were just like this person doesn't want to be here.
Yeah.
So it's like I just don't like that personality trait. Like if fame got to her head that fast, then I don't know. I don't think she's deserving of it then in that situation.
So it turns you off enough to it affects your perception of the movie and
It affects my perception of the movie the same way I can't watch like Elizabeth Moss without like thinking she's a Scientologist.
Yeah.
It's something inherent in me
It's
where I
so
just can't
funny.
think of. I can't.
I
not
can get
think of
past it because she's so good.
Okay.
That's the thing. It is very
Constance
odd.
or Elizabeth Moss?
Elizabeth
Moss. yeah.
Moss, yeah. She's so good.
It's so funny that she's a Scientologist and she was in like Handmaid's Tale,
Yeah.
right? Like that's
Yeah.
it's so funny to me.
So I can
And
see
that's
how
not
you
to
might
say
not
that
be able
she's-
to get
that's
around
not,
that.
Not to say that they're not talented, but I think it's just like I don't think they deserve.
You can't
that.
you can't maybe suspend disbelief enough
Yeah.
to.
Or
No,
you're just
it's
like
not gonna not. I'm gonna still watch Hustlers and I'm gonna still enjoy it and whatever, but.
you're just gonna be like slightly annoyed.
Which is like a normal.
I get that. I get that
feeling.
too when I see with like dudes, with dudes in entertainment. I'm like, "Ugh, this guy's like a shitty dude, but I'm like still like taking in the music or the movie or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ugh,
I don't have to listen to Michael Jackson anymore.
yeah.
Maybe I'll listen to Jackson.
I've been
5.
listening. I've been listening to Drake, knowing that he's gonna be a pedophile. like,
Wait, what?
I like this is not this. There've been no accusations or
Yeah,
whatever.
But
But
He
it's
does-
like
he does like
all
young
the signs are
ladies.
there, right?
Yeah.
Like the Millie Bobby Brown thing. He shut down a restaurant for an 18-year-old. He was kissing up on this 17-year-old at his concert that he brought on stage, and he was like, "How old are you?" And she was like 17, and he was like, "Why are you so thick?" And he like kept kissing her. and like just all of these
Yeah.
signs are there, and I know it's gonna fall down. Like
Yeah.
it's like the
Heard it here
grooming.
first.
Yeah.
Well, that's why it's like I feel like I enjoyed Michael's
They're all
music for so
allegations,
long that
not
now it's just like I don't feel too much at a loss because like I'm not just like, oh, I have to turn it. I'm just like, I don't want to listen to it. I just
Yeah, you like think about it.
I'm just I'm just
But it does play on the radio
want
a
to.
lot, and I do find myself always switching the channel now.
I do too.
I feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
with
And
it.
I'm not even like angry, like, oh, fuck Michael
No,
Jackson.
it just
It's
makes
like
me
sad.
It just
Yeah.
makes me kind of sad.
Yeah, it's just like,
Yeah.
this is tragic.
Yeah.
R. Kelly was, I think everyone easily can, but the music was great, but he's,
For me, it was like
Yeah.
Michael Jackson was more of an impact because of dance and how much
Yeah.
everybody.
My
We had like
family and I
whole
grew up with
production
Michael
numbers.
Jackson.
Yeah.
My mom,
Oh, we
all
all
of her
did.
ringtones are different Michael Jackson songs for each of her kids.
That's
Still.
awkward.
And I told her to change it, and she won't. So she's like, I can appreciate the music and still think he's a monster. And I was like, how? She's like, I'm good at this. I'm compartmentalizing
just-
Oh,
my
God.
emotions.
I hate to reduce people in general to monsters. We were touching a little bit about this when we were talking about sociopaths. But most people aren't sociopaths. It's just like he was, I think, I mean, it's obviously no excuse,
Oh
but
my-
he was
But
severely
he was
abused.
troubled.
my
He was
God.
very troubled. Yeah, I'm not.
There was-
yeah.
there was a-
Monster is a very, very blanket term that it's not like very. I mean, yeah, I know what you mean.
There was a comic, I think it was Drew Michael.
Yeah.
In New York,
Yeah.
and I went to the Kevin Barnett special or the memorial show for Kevin Barnett, and I think it was Drew Michael. It was Drew something who did this. Yeah, it was Drew Michael who did this joke where he was talking about. He did jokes that he thought Kevin would like, and he was talking about Michael Jackson, and he was like, yeah, like he, you know, all of the accusations and everything, but like, who could you picture Michael Jackson with? Like, it's weirder. He, like, married Lisa Marie Presley, and everybody was more weirded out by the fact that they kissed on MTV than, like, he was with kids. Do you know what I
true,
mean? Like,
man.
it was grosser
He's not
visually.
wrong. He's not
And he was like,
wrong.
if you are an adult and you're dating Michael Jackson, you're the pedophile. It was such a good joke because
Yeah.
he's
That's
so,
real.
like, messed in the head,
Yeah.
right? He's like,
Yeah.
he's stunted
He was
emotionally.
chemically castrated as a child,
Yeah.
so his voice wouldn't change.
Yeah.
Really?
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah, his dad was a
That
literal
guy was
abuser.
a devil.
Yeah.
He chemically castrated
Yeah.
him?
So his
his
voice
voice would
wouldn't
stay that way.
change. Yeah.
That's like, you know,
Holy shit,
He
I
was
had no idea.
He's an extremely fucked up person. Does not excuse that he did fucked up things.
He was
but it does
horribly
explain it a little bit
Yeah.
to why he maybe didn't
Fuck,
see
man.
what right and wrong was. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
yeah, everything's
dad
just,
his
it's
dad
just
is
tragic.
the real monster. But I
Yeah.
don't know.
Is his dad still alive? Or
No,
did
he
passed
recently.
Yeah.
Joe Jackson? Is
Yeah,
that his
Joe.
dad? Yeah, no, he's gone.
But his mom's still alive, Catherine.
I think that's what that Teddy Perkins episode of Atlanta was about, where he was
Yeah.
like that creepy dude who lived in that house was
Mhm.
like so he had that statue of his father and it was
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
like that's like what it was I
That
think
was a
implying.
that
It's
was-
like,
Freaking crazy episode.
That was a really good episode.
yeah.
yeah.
And
Did
it-
you see it?
No, I haven't.
You
It's-
have to see Atlanta. Oh my god.
Oh my!
so
It's
good.
such a. It's like a weird character. He like goes to his house to pick something up, and it's a very like Michael Jackson, strange man in a house, scares the shit out of him character. Just
Yeah.
very
And
eccentric
it's not
person.
revealed ever who is the actor playing him. And like,
Oh, wow.
Like the viewer can put the pieces together, but I think it's entertaining to watch it not knowing
Yeah.
who, if this is a real guy or whatever. Because oftentimes Atlanta will like, I don't know, talk about real things or real celebrities, whether it's like a play on Justin Bieber or like whatever. So I watched it thinking like, who is this? At
Yeah, I
first,
watched it
you
without
know?
knowing, so I don't want to ruin it for you either.
Yeah.
You should watch it. You should watch it.
First season?
No,
I think it's
second.
It's
second
second
season.
season, yeah.
But
But
it
you
was.
should
yeah.
watch all of Atlanta. To be
Yeah.
honest.
I hear that. I hear that.
I think it's one of the best shows ever.
Do you So I guess like. Do you think that that the more interesting celebrities have had that kind of like suffering in their childhood, or the more entertaining ones?
I don't know if I'd make that generalization, but I think great suffering is galvanizing, and that can generate art. So
What do you guys think?
I mean, some of my favorite people have committed suicide, like Robin Williams or Anthony Bourdain or.
I think Robin Williams had Lewy body dementia though, so he had like other. It wasn't just like depression.
Yeah, but like as far as like
But yeah, he
as
struggled
far
a
as
lot.
like mental
Yeah.
struggles and like being tormented and stuff, or
Yeah.
even Brody Stevens, I thought was one of the most funny people I've ever
Yeah.
seen live. And
Amazing comic.
I think I do think. I mean, I've struggled with a host of mental things, it's still and in the past, and I think struggle does breed creativity sometimes, and you can use it to your best ability to make art, but unless you're able to overcome it, sometimes it could just constantly be
Destructive.
destructive. And
there,
yeah,
I think there are like a lot of people who come from money and less like not necessarily mental health. I'm not going to speak on that because everybody can suffer from that, no matter what your background is. But there are a lot of people that didn't have like a lot of the environmental challenges that a lot of our favorite artists do, but they're also very successful in entertainment.
I think it could be either or. Like you
Yeah.
can have a lot of issues and be able to use that to like stem creativity or like like become a comedian because you just want to laugh, you know, like you're tired
Yeah.
of all the darkness, so you channel that into humor.
Yeah.
But also it goes either way. Like you can come from like a wonderfully supportive family who's like, yeah, good for you, like about everything, and then like
Yeah.
still succeed. I think it also, in the end, it comes down to whether you want to do the work, you know,
Yeah.
to make
Yeah.
your art.
Yeah, because even if you have like great placement in the industry for whatever reason, being a legacy or whatever, like if
Yeah.
you don't bring something to the table, you're not gonna last.
Yeah.
And I mean, to the question of like if they're more interesting, I think kind of they are, because like it's kind of boring to see someone just like on a silver platter always have like kind of had it easy, quote in quotes, and then have success, whether it's like, I don't know, a Coppola daughter or like whatever. So I think like having more strife and maybe like coming from a difficult background or whatever, it does make the person more interesting because they almost have more to draw from as far as like what I'm assuming that their life is like.
Well,
But-
It also,
like-
it also feels like they're more grounded, like they can relate to more people.
yeah.
Sorry.
You know, Nick Cage, I think, is a Coppola, right?
Yeah, he is.
He is?
Yeah,
Yeah, he changed his name.
Oh yeah.
To
Oh.
because yeah,
A lot, of people
nepotism.
a lot of people are Coppolas.
Yeah.
It's
Nepotism,
weird.
people are ashamed of it because it's just, you know, I think.
I mean, they shouldn't
the
be
same
ashamed
thing.
of it, but they should be aware of how much privilege it entails. You know,
Yeah.
like
I think they just don't want to talk about it.
yeah, it's like that's why I get so mad about like I
Might
don't
be some
know,
shame
like
or something.
Kendall
Nicholas
or
Kim
Kylie
Coppola.
There it is.
Jenner. Like when
Kim.
Kimmy.
oh cute.
Kimmy
yeah,
Kim.
that's pretty cute.
Kendall or Kylie Jenner.
Yeah, like Kendall Jenner, for example, is so adamant that like she worked her way to her fame, or like Kylie Jenner, the first whatever self-made billionaire. Like
Well,
those kinds of like to hold on to being self-made when you're so obviously not is such a it's just so petty, and it's just like how are you not aware of the immense privilege you have?
It's also like I would love if they were just like, yeah, this shit was hella easy for us. Like if they just said it, I'd
But
be
it
like,
kinda
oh, they're
was.
funny.
Yeah,
Like at least they're
exactly.
funny and self-aware.
Yeah.
But they're so serious about like
Yeah.
their work, and then you like watch the behind the scenes, and you're just like, I can't.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably do work a lot.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's just like
They can't conceive of working more.
it's less steep of a climb.
Yeah, I do think they do have a lot of their mom's drive. Like that, Kris Jenner is
They're
almost sociopathic in how she gets shit done. Where you're like, Jesus Christ, like, do you care that you're destroying people
What
to
are your
get to
thoughts
the
on
top?
the sex tape?
Oh
Kim's
well, the sex tape
Yeah.
was all. That's
Do you
all.
think she
Well
orchestrated
engineered.
that?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
because you
The
can't.
mom?
100%.
Vivid Entertainment couldn't
people say
release
that.
that sex tape without, like, as a film, like they did,
Yeah.
without the approval of both parties. So Kim had to approve. So that was all I think orchestrated to bring Kim out as like this girl who's like out here, literally like out here. Like I think Kris
Out
Jenner
here. Out
was
here.
is kind of a genius in that sense of like
Yeah.
she knew how to market her children into this world, and then it worked. I mean, like. She's kind of. I'm not saying I'm a fan of Kris Jenner. I'm just saying she
But it's
she knows what
admirable.
she's
Respect
fucking
it.
doing.
Yeah, but it's
like
admirable
she
to
knows
see her-
damn well she know like.
her fucking rise to the pinnacle of fucking money, and all her kids are now the same. Like,
Well, but that's the thing is, if you don't do the work, she shuns you. That's why the son, what's his name, Robert,
Rob.
is treated
You
so
don't even know his
poorly
name.
by everybody because he's not out here like being like, yeah, like he started on the show a little and then he just started to get like kind of angry and mean and petty and jealous and shady, and they easily were like, well, you don't do the work, you're fucking out. We're not gonna like hold you up. Like you can see it. There's like this intensity
Yeah.
that comes with being in that family that like if you're not holding your own within the spotlight, then you're kind of fucked.
But that
So-
also like breeds
Which I would never
so-
want to be in that family.
so much like body dysmorphia and like this idea to always look your best. Like talking about Rob, like I know he used to be like in shape and then he like got out of shape and then that's kind of like when he left the spotlight.
Yeah.
Like they don't have time for anyone that's like not only
Perfectly
society
presentable.
standards, but like this idea of standards that are truly there's invented standards. Like the proportions of their bodies are not realistic, and like it's just like the way they look is not realistic. But that's
She like
what they're
released the
perpetuating.
Body Foundation, and I was just like, fucking another thing that we have to pay attention to? Why?
Yeah.
I know.
Which-
I'm like.
yeah.
Kim Spanks, is that what they were? The Kim Spanks?
She
no.
called them kimonos
Right.
Yeah,
at
did you,
first.
so that so they're
Yeah.
no longer called
No,
kimonos.
No,
she
there's
changed them
backlash.
to like Kimmy or
How does
But
she
they were
not
Skims.
fucking
Skims.
know?
Skims.
I will say that I do appreciate her going for the cause of getting these prisoners released.
Yeah.
I think that's great. But
Well, yeah, if you can use your platform to
yeah.
do something.
Yeah. I mean, about time. I don't know.
But it's like I also like I understand that celebrities are like they want to live a very like convenient, comfortable life, but like honestly watching some of the Instagram stories, I'm just like I'm like disgusted. I'm like put this money in the fucking environment. Like
Yeah.
why do you have another like outfit? I don't give a fuck. Like our
Yeah.
like planet is dying.
Yeah.
But it's like everybody has their own money, has their whatever, and then they have to like look good to get more money, and I get that, but it's like
Do you know what I watched recently?
just bothers
that,
me
like,
sometimes.
Was like just self care. Watching it was. I don't know if you guys watch First We Feast, but it's like different interviews with celebrities eating hot wings.
oh yeah.
And the one that just came out for this season was Shia LaBeouf. I love Shia
Oh, I was
LaBeouf.
gonna watch that.
Shia LaBeouf
That
is
movie that's coming out.
No. It's a YouTube show.
It's a YouTube
and
show where they eat hot wings.
You've probably seen clips of it.
There's that
like-
Idris Elba one where he's like,
Yeah.
He's, like,
it's like
choking.
But I mean,
memed all
they
over.
usually go on to promote movies, and there's two movies that Shia has coming out, which is Peanut Butter Falcon and Honey Boy. And the
Honey
Honey Boy is
Boy.
based on his life, where he plays his dad, which is like a whole other story.
That
but
is
I
wild.
watched it, and he's
Saw
such
the
a
preview
down to
yesterday.
earth person. And
Do you
he,
really
like,
think Shy is a down to earth person?
Yeah,
He's a
I think
performance
so.
artist.
I
I think he's kind of knows how to play a room.
I think in comparison
Well, I
to
mean,
other
he calls
celebrity, I
himself a
think
performance
like
artist.
he was talking about how he was like working with kids in like downtown LA or something, and someone called him out on his like $500 shoes, and then he like made him think about like how he presents himself, and like just like having that foresight to be like, I don't want to play a political game when it comes to fashion. I'd rather just like look comfortable or whatever. Or like, I think like I don't know, and he like spends a lot of time with kids, and he does a lot of like teaching and stuff. I think he's someone that like for someone that grew up in the spotlight literally like as a kid and now as an adult, he's someone like I don't know. I
He's
admire
adjusted.
him.
But he went.
Yeah.
But he went through like he had like abuse, like he had assault charges and stuff. Like he's been like had a struggle
Yeah, for
in the
sure.
spotlight in becoming
Didn't
an
he-
adult
Yeah.
celebrity.
Didn't he release a sex tape of him and his girlfriend at the time, submitted to a director so he could, I think, star in a movie?
I have no idea. I
I
know that he
know.
pulled out a tooth on like the
Oh,
set
yeah.
of something,
His
yeah,
own.
Fury.
and then he refused to shower and bothered everybody on set.
He pulled out his own tooth.
Yeah.
Okay.
He talked about that on the interview.
But he does like a lot of like performance art shit. He also like did that thing that other famous female performance artist did where he stood in a room just like she did and like let people do whatever they wanted to
Marina
him and like people
Abramovich?
yeah,
Yeah.
Abramovich.
Yeah.
And they had like tools and stuff around, so he like he said he got like raped, I think, during that, or like at least sexually assaulted by a woman with her boyfriend outside. So he's had like a very strange series
I'm
of
not saying
events.
he's like he's very unconventional, but I
Yeah.
did like some of the things he said in this interview that I highly recommend you watch. But just to comment about like where
Celebrity.
people spend their money and like being aware that like $500 shoes in the spectrum of celebrity is cheap.
Yeah.
But for someone to call him out, like a kid that he's teaching to call him out, and then him thinking, how
Yeah.
do I want to present myself to these kids? I don't know. I think it's a good way to be introspective.
I like
It made him more conscious.
Yeah.
I really like this shit that Jaden Smith is doing, where
Yeah.
he has like the truck where he's just feeding homeless people good, healthy food, and he's like
Yeah.
addressing the Flint water crisis and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's great.
Yeah, I think Will Smith and Jada, they raise their kids well.
I love
Yeah.
that family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw Willow in New York.
Oh
at,
yeah,
like,
you
a-
said you
yeah.
saw her.
Yeah, so while someone asked to take a selfie with her, I just took a selfie of myself with them in the background.
That's cute.
It was like a meta selfie.
Yeah, they've done well. The Smiths. Yeah, they seem like good parents.
What cause would you guys, if you had one cause and like a bunch of money, what would you
The
advocate for?
environment probably, or the. I mean, I'm vegan, but like I think it's kind of related. Just like being aware of like consumption and the environment, taking care of the earth.
It seems like the most urgent thing right now
Yeah,
because
that's
it's such a
why.
big
There are so many
issue.
things I care about, which
Yeah.
are like Syria and refugees and all of that. But I think
If we're
nothing,
all gonna
none
die,
of that matters
yeah.
if
Yeah.
the planet is a
And if
wasteland.
yeah,
You know.
what about you?
Yeah, probably the same. And that, like, environment and, like, homelessness.
Yeah.
It's all the same.
Yeah,
What's top on your list?
I think the same thing. Because do you know Greta Thunberg?
Mhm.
I saw a picture. So she's a 15-year-old climate change activist, and she's done like a lot of marches and sit-ins. And there was a picture today, I think, where it was a year and 1 month ago, of her at a protest, and it was her on the floor with her sign by herself. And then the protests from this week, which with like thousands of people, it was like such a big difference. It was amazing.
That's amazing.
I think probably mine would be like mental, emotional health.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I think I have the drive for that.
Yeah,
But like, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, of course, if you have enough money, I would diversify
yeah.
Yeah.
where I would.
It's just
it would
interesting to
go.
see like what affects people because it's often like very personal things will drive them. Like one of the Koch brothers got prostate cancer, so he put a lot of money into that,
Of
Yeah.
course.
and that's the only
yeah.
good thing they've ever done probably.
It's funny, like
But-
until something affects you, I don't think you think about it.
Well, they were like,
happens.
we can't be not letting these immigrants in the country. We need them to work for free. Like, they were, like, so shady about that. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, we know because you guys pay your, like, employees nothing.
Right.
Like, under the table, like, cents to the dollar, and then be like, well, we need them because American citizens would actually be like, wait, you can't do that. That's illegal.
Yeah.
Bad people, man.
Well, I think like just when it comes to sort of like choosing the cause, it's like if you can relate to it, I think you can advocate for it better,
Yeah,
or you would have more, I guess, fire to do so. But
which is why this Chelsea documentary is so confusing.
there's this Carlin bit about the earth and plastic, and he's like, the earth's gonna be fine. Like we're fucking up the earth for us.
Yeah,
We're
we're
not.
gonna
The
die.
earth's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
We're just
Ugh.
just this.
I don't know.
All right. Well, on that note, we probably should wrap up. I think.
Oh, really?
We're
How-
about, like,
how
six-
much
right?
time has passed?
It's been an hour.
I
What,
believe
really?
so.
I
About
think so.
55,
Look how
55
time
minutes.
just flies with you
Yeah,
guys.
we gotta.
I
We might have
know.
to do a bunch of. We might have to do some. What's it called when like a
But-
bunch of superheroes get together?
Tea.
A meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do another
Brunch?
meeting. With, can we eat during podcast?
Boardroom. No, what's, I don't know what the. I want to know what the word you're thinking of is.
Assemble.
Avengers. I don't know.
Avengers, Justice League. There's a lot to
Justice
pick from.
League, Yeah, I don't know.
If
This
you,
is
were to
fun.
have, if you were to have a superpower, what would it be?
Do you know what's sad? I was just like, I just don't want to have sleep apnea.
Oh, that's Polly.
I was like, I just
I
want
would
to
just
have
like
more
to
energy,
sleep.
Oh,
which I
man.
guess is like
That's
strength for my
heartbreaking.
trachea.
Yeah.
But that's not even like a superpower.
I know,
That's
it's just like I
a-
want to be normal.
Your superpower could be to never get any sort of illness ever.
Yeah,
Mhm.
or like not to
Constantly
not
be.
have to sleep.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh,
Like I can sleep if I want to, but I don't
But you
have
don't
to.
need
I'm
to.
still like alert and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah,
you can
Yeah.
enjoy sleep.
yeah.
So it's just like Batman without the sleep deprivation. I guess. I just want to be able to invent shit and like have time. What about you guys?
Probably to be invisible.
Oh,
Not because it's sad. I just don't want people to talk to me. Sometimes
Oh.
I want to be like outside and I don't want to be like maybe it's just my neighborhood. Everyone's just being like, cool dog. And I'm always
think
like,
it
oh,
would be
shut
nice,
up.
yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to mind my own business so my dog can shit and piss everywhere and then
Yeah.
go back into my dark hole of a room and watch TV. And then I
Yeah.
just don't. It's actually more anything. My neighborhood is just a bunch of like stony bros being like, hey, what's up? And me being like, do not speak to me.
But being invisible would also be fun because you can like be nosy and like just like,
Yeah.
go into like different parties and like be a fly on the wall literally. Or, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I just don't want like
Yeah.
randos to talk to me.
Yeah.
So I can just go walk my dog with my invisibility.
But
Your dog, the
wouldn't
leash
be
is
in
just-
Yeah, well, that's on them to
Flying.
figure out, okay?
It's like you just want to be a man or something.
Yeah, I just like
Yeah.
I don't want to be a person of color who stands out in like
Yeah.
Texas, which I did that one time. I went to Texas and everyone was staring at me, and I was like, really though, like I'm not that weird looking. Like you just haven't seen a person of color in a while.
Which city?
It was Amarillo.
Where's
Like there were
that?
like it's like northwest Texas,
It's ironic.
but it was like
that
kids like wide-eyed, like staring at
What
me
is
as
it?
I
it's
like
walked
like named
by.
after a color, and they're still not used to it.
Yeah, like they were like just staring at me, like children, like they'd never seen such a person. I was like, oh
Wow.
fuck off.
That happened in Iceland, but that was more acceptable, I think.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, they're like, what happened to that one?
Yeah.
Don't stare, honey.
What about yours?
I thought about this before, and it's like maybe a little bit lame, but I would want to know and understand and be able to speak every language.
Oh yeah, that's dope.
That's
I would
dope.
love to be able to understand
Even
and
animals.
just everything.
Yeah.
Like I want it to just. I love to travel, and I would love for that to, because like language is so important, and even just being like knowing, like being raised with Arabic first, and then sometimes I think in Arabic and I can't literally translate how I feel in English. There are words that are only in Arabic that'll always only be in Arabic in my brain. And
Like
I can
what?
only imagine so many other languages that have those little nuances, and I want to know them all.
But yeah, languages are symbols, right? It's all
Yeah.
symbols. So it's like, what if there's a better, more specific, accurate way to
Mhm.
describe or communicate something?
Yeah.
So if you could pull from like all these languages, that
Yeah.
it was like,
And then your tattoos would never be questioned.
Never.
You could have whatever
Yeah.
tattoos. you
Every
want.
symbol I want.
Yeah.
yeah.
What would
Did you say
have?
yours?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I think maybe like I'm debating between like instant manifestation to like enlightenment to like Dr. Manhattan shit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know, something large that I could
Yeah.
have a bunch of sub powers underneath. Basically, I'm like, I'm gonna get the bang for
You're
my
like, can
buck.
I
We're
wish
like
for
a-
more wishes?
Yeah, exactly. I'm
And
that
you're
kid.
just like, no sleep apnea, please.
I'm like, please
Yeah.
let me sleep well. And you're like, that's funny.
I mean, yesterday it would have been like, get rid of this joint pain, like that's.
Mhm.
But today I feel better, so now
That's
it's like
good.
Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah. Okay. Well, should we ask the last couple questions that we normally ask?
Oh, have we even done that in a while?
I don't know.
Do
We
you
don't
guys
have
want
to.
You guys want some brown questions?
Sure.
What is a dumb question that you guys have been asked recently? Like somebody who doesn't know something about your stereotype or whatever.
Maybe in Amarillo, Texas.
Yeah, they were staring at you.
No one spoke to me. They were just staring at me.
Which you liked. So visibly
Yeah.
invisible.
That's true, but the stares were to a point where I was like, okay, that's
I hate that
just
shit. That drives me
absurd.
mad.
Something someone has asked me. Ooh.
Or like an assumption or something.
Well, oh god, Shereen, do you want to go? I gotta think. I gotta
I mean,
remember
I have
something.
a couple of things. The first one I could think of is this one person that was in such disbelief that my dad has blue eyes. 'Cause They were just like, I didn't know Syrians had different colored eyes, and like not realizing like I have cousins with red hair, I have cousins with green eyes, and whatever. Like, and they were like, you're so light, and I'm like, yeah, we're not just like this idea of like a desert person. You know what I mean?
I know blonde Syrians.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I have cousins that are blonde and red and whatever, but redhead, not red. But just like I just remember they were just like trying to understand like their idea of what an Arab was, and like it wasn't. It's just not one thing. And the other thing I thought of was when a supervisor asked me if I was about to go jihad on her.
No.
What? What
But
was the
that
context?
was a year ago. That was like a year ago.
That's what?
I still think you should have reported her.
Yeah. So okay, it'll be a quick story. I'll make
Yeah.
it short. So it was like during the time when Scarlett Johansson was like up for that trans role, and we were debating like a healthy debate about why I thought that was like not an appropriate role for her, and the woman was saying that she thought actors are able to transform and whatever, and like she should be able to do whatever she wants. And so but I only bring that up because it was like a healthy debate. And then it's over, and it's me and this white guy next to me, and she's across from me, and I'm on my computer, I guess, after this debate, and I guess my face isn't necessarily, like, happy. And she looks up, and she's like, whoa, Sheree's about to go jihad on us. And the guy next to me starts laughing hysterically.
No.
And she starts laughing hysterically, and I think
This was in
you
LA
never know.
recently.
It was last year. In a very popular production office in LA, and the only reason I still think about it is because you never know how you're going to react in the situation. Like, I was dumbfounded because this woman had known me for almost a year at this point.
Yeah.
She knows I was Syrian. She knew I was Syrian. She knows I talk about stuff on my podcast. Like, she knows I have...
Would you have expected that from her?
No. No, and
That's
anybody.
the saddest. That's the saddest part. Is when those
and
moments
all I
happen.
could say, I was just frozen. All I could say was, that wasn't appropriate. And, like, in retrospect, like I wish I would have like said more, but I was so upset that I just got up and like walked out because they kept laughing, and I was like, these people that I've worked with for so long think that joke is funny.
I would have brought them all
And
down.
all
I would
I
have brought
could
that
do-
entire production company
But it's
down.
hard in
I'd
the moment.
It's really
burn
hard,
it.
and it's really hard. I mean, this is gonna sound like
Especially if
a
you had a
cop-out.
relationship with them.
Because I'm freelance, and this woman would hire me. Honestly, most of my paycheck for last year and this year was because of this woman.
Who
I'm
asked you
freelance.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because I'm freelance, I almost felt like I need that relationship. Like I need to pay my rent.
It's
and
not
I
a
hate
cop
that I-
out. It's like
don't know.
it's a thing. It's a bad position that many people, minorities, people of color,
Yeah, women, yeah.
LGBTQ are put in is just to fucking nod and smile for your fucking paycheck
Yeah.
because you're not in
So,
charge.
Yeah. So that will always be maybe the top thing anyone has ever said to me.
Poor taste.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What about Justin Trudeau? His
That's
blackface
hilarious.
Yo!
stuff.
It's so funny.
That was so funny because
Yeah.
like you were like, okay, it does like brown face, and then you click on the picture and you're like, who is his makeup artist? Like his hands, his face. He went hard. Like he was like
Yeah.
9 hours avatar me. I'm doing this.
Yeah.
It was like
That's too
and
much.
it was
Artist.
multiple times.
You should never be that committed.
He was
to a
so
costume.
gung ho about
yeah,
it.
white
so
people love their fucking costumes. White
Yeah.
people just go too hard on costumes.
Well, also, it's just like the thing was, one of the pictures was in a yearbook, so that's how accepted it was in that environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, white people do love their costumes.
They go hard on every kind of like excuse to decorate or excuse to fucking like. I remember I used to live with someone in college that like the minute those little pumpkins would come around in like August.
Oh, the tiny ones?
yeah, she was just like so excited to start decorating the apartment. I was like, who the fuck are you? Like, who thinks to look at like a I don't know whatever, white people.
Yeah, I'm not sentimental about holidays.
I like dressing up and I like the events, but like there's one thing that could cancel me. I have one thing. In college there
Did
was
you do whiteface?
no, I did. So in college there was a party called a posh, but it was spelled like Apache, but it's like a traditional party, but everybody just wears like lingerie or whatever. And I dressed up as Native American because
Oh
I was
my
like,
God.
everybody's confused me for the wrong type of Indian.
That's
So
not,
it
that
was-
wouldn't get you canceled.
But it's like a picture of me and no context.
But I've also.
But I
dressed
have
up-
deleted that off of my
I've also
Facebook because I
worn-
was like,
I've
fuck.
also worn
Yeah.
a headdress before for
I've dressed as Pocahontas as a
Yeah,
kid because it was like
same.
my favorite movie.
I dressed as like that was my favorite.
I
too.
have an
Yeah.
I dressed as
afro
like a gypsy,
wig.
That's another
Uh,
level.
and I didn't even know that
Right?
was a slur.
I guess no,
Yeah.
you don't have to be black to have an afro though.
I have an afro wig.
Do you do blackface with it?
She's avoiding the question. She's like, I have the wig though.
yeah. I don't know.
What's the phrase? The when we can't talk. Like if I were like, do you do
I plead the
mushrooms? You
No comment?
No comment.
There she goes.
No comment. No, I've never done blackface.
Thank you for playing
I
that.
had a friend in college who did blackface.
No,
That's
Yeah.
not
wild
a
to me.
friend.
Question: how do y'all feel about brown people saying the N-word?
No.
No.
I feel the same way, and I'm not going to mention the name, but I was sitting down with a very, very close friend of years. I'm not going to mention the gender, but they were feeling very passionate about something and kept dropping the N-word. And at first I thought I misheard because it was like late, and then it happened again, and I'm like, oh shit. And then it happened again, and it wasn't like, in a racist
It's a brown
way.
person.
It's a brown person. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
say who it is, the
I
gender.
think people that are like really into hip hop or really into like think they've had like I don't know, maybe like a similar life to like
Yeah.
their black counterparts. For whatever reason,
Yeah.
they think that they're entitled to use that word, maybe because of the music or whatever.
And that's how I took it because I
Yeah.
was like, oh, this person's not racist.
but
But like that's sort of like
Yeah.
My cousins use it,
I was
and
taken
I
off
keep telling
guard
them not to.
because
yeah, my cousins use it too actually.
And
it's
they're
not
not.
uncommon,
They're
but
not.
young boy
And they're like.
cousins.
And they're like, some of them have gone to school in Australia or they're like in India and stuff, and they think it's funny. And I'm like, that's just not funny. And like, I was FaceTiming with a black friend from the States, and I was like, hey, come here, come say that word you enjoy saying so much. And he was like, no, shut up. And I was like, if you're scared to fucking
Yeah.
say it, then it's not like
Yeah.
a cultural thing.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Have you guys been called the N-word?
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the with sand in front of it for sure.
I've just been called the N-word.
Oh,
No.
Yeah.
there.
I live the
'Cause I-
privileged life.
I
Different
think
shades of
I think
brown.
sometimes people think that I am
Yeah.
from like, I don't know, a dark and far away. Like, I guess sometimes people think I'm mixed, part
Yeah.
part black, something else.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was shocking though. I wouldn't have expected it.
Yeah. Well, did you say anything to him or them? Sorry, I don't know if it's.
I didn't at the moment because I sort of took things into consideration.
Mhm.
They were heated about something and they weren't saying it in a way that was,
They weren't like
derogatory
insulting
to.
someone.
No, they were more just like they were talking like they were black
Mhm.
in the way like they could freely use that, but like it was just I'd never seen that.
Yeah.
I was like, what the just I don't know.
Yeah.
It was pretty wild.
I see that a lot. I feel like.
I mean, like I wouldn't have seen this person do that.
Have you? What's something, Anna, that happened with you recently? Did anything happen?
Oh,
with
we
you
should wrap up
recently?
soon. Sorry, but go. You
Oh,
tell
sure.
your story. and we'll wrap up.
Oh my gosh, what was I again?
There's someone asking you or doing something that's annoying because you're brown.
I mean, it usually revolves around like Iran and like people being like surprised I've ever been there, or like that my family came here from there. Like they're just like they're allowed. It's like dumb things of like you're allowed to go or like they're allowed to leave, and it's like, yeah.
So is this war happening with Iran?
We're deciding here and now.
Press
This is the
conference.
boardroom. This is the
press
boardroom. The
conference.
Avengers boardroom.
Situation room.
I'm not gonna comment on that.
Yeah,
I know better than to comment on something like that
Yeah.
yeah.
in any sort of vocal way because I do want to go back to Iran again, and I don't want to get caught up in nothing.
Yeah, I hear you.
So I don't know. Hopefully not. Let's hope for no war
Yeah,
ever.
I, mean,
Yeah.
I think there's better forms of conflict resolution, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Some other people don't.